Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh my God. It's our first episode. Are you so excited?
I'm so excited.
It's so
Yay.
funny because we both got this idea. We both clearly this is meant to be because I thought about it, but I thought, well, there's so much on my plate. I don't know if I can take on another thing. But you
Uh-huh.
got the idea too, and you're like, hey, I think we should do this. And I was like, okay, then that's a yes. Like if we both got it, that's a clear yes.
We talk every day almost anyway, so
Yes. Yeah.
it's just but I couldn't believe it when you said that you had the same idea too. I was like,
I mean, we might as well just hit record and do what we've been doing, right? And
right.
post it, and maybe it's useful for somebody.
Right, that's
Yeah.
right. That's what we want to be. We want to
Oh my
help
God.
people grow and learn everything they can about their own intuition and gifts.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So do you want to start by introducing yourself since nobody here knows who we are, knows us?
Right.
Why
I
don't
know,
you
right?
introduce yourself and share your story?
Okay. So I'm Nikki and I've had my first, I guess I'll start when I had my first spiritual awakening, which was at 18. I have been in touch with my intuitive senses my whole life, but when I was 18, I saw a medium and just for a fun reading with a friend, my guardian angel actually who was my twin in utero for 6 weeks. She then became my guardian and she channeled into the medium, like in the movie Ghost, which was the freakiest thing ever,
Uh-huh.
but also very cool. Like the medium's voice changed and her mannerisms changed. And my best friend was sitting there with me and she said, "Oh my God, Nikki, it looked like it was you talking to you." I was like, "What?" I mean, I guess thinking back on it, I noticed it too, but in the
Yeah.
time she was just giving me all of this information that I needed,
Yeah.
um, and basically told me what I needed to do with the rest of my life
Mhm.
spiritually. Um, which I'm like, after I left, I'm like, really? Seriously? I don't know about that. But then it's all panned out, like not by conscious intention,
Uh-huh.
but just how my life has unfolded.
Hmm.
But that also triggered all of my intuitive senses to wake up. Like it was crazy. And I was like in a panic because I didn't know what was happening. And
Yeah.
I thought I had intuition before, but like, oh my God. All of a sudden I could see things like energy and like ghosts, I guess you could say. And I could hear things audibly. And like the downloads coming in were like constant. And I felt like I was going crazy.
Yeah.
So I had to learn how to control it
Hmm.
because I couldn't live in a real world and have all of this spiritual stuff going on, being bombarded by it like 24/7.
Hmm.
And so I learned how to protect my energy and how to, I think I shut down. I know I shut down the clairaudience and the clairvoyance
Hmm.
at that in those early days. And it's
Hmm.
just been, over the last 10 years, I guess, that I'm more confident in my abilities that I've allowed them
Yeah.
to open up again.
Hmm.
Um, so it was just so much.
Yeah.
Um, but I know it
Mhm.
happened for me to learn how to protect my energy and how to use my intuition and how to, I guess, control it and use it to navigate my life, which has been such a blessing.
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
use it every day in your work.
I do, yes. I mean, it's just such an innate part of me.
Yeah.
And I was lucky to have a mum and a dad that raised me to listen to my intuition and to never question it and to be, it's not anything to be scared of. It's nothing bad. It's just a natural part of you.
Mhm.
And so I'm blessed to have had that childhood where I could have an imaginary friend and not have it questioned and not be
Yeah.
called crazy. And um, when I told my parents I saw my grandmother when I was 4, when she passed away, she came to me and she sat beside my bed and she was in like a blue light and I could see her outline and she woke me up and said, "I'm going away now. I love you, but I'll always be with you."
Mhm.
And when I woke up the next day and I told my parents, they're like, "Oh, okay." And then later on that day, they got a phone call
Mm.
to tell them that my dad's mother had passed away.
Mm.
And I think that they knew like,
Yeah.
from that point that,
Yeah. This one's
you
gifted.
know,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a lot.
yeah. So that's a little bit about me. How about you? How's
So
your
it's so funny. My story is like the exact opposite of yours. So I started my journey about 8 years ago. I grew up in church in a very religious home. I did not have, I may have had an imaginary friend, but it wasn't like I don't remember it. I was not one of those kids that like, grew up seeing spirits or anything like that, like talking to anyone. Um, that was very much not a thing that we did. Um, and I just remember growing up, even when I was really involved in like the ministry and all of that, like certain things just didn't sit well with me, like just didn't resonate and just felt a little bit off as far as like truth and like what I felt was true and like all of that. And so I think that started like the wheels turning and me starting to almost like make my own decisions and figure out what was true for me, and thinking for myself and not just going along with what I had read or heard or been taught.
Mm,
And it was really kind of just like this exploratory curiosity that led into me like consciously learning about other things and like what else is out there. And then as more and more things resonated with me, I would dive down more rabbit holes and I would learn more things. And the first thing I learned was emotion code healing. I read that book. And then I read Zero Limits, which is about Ho'oponopono, which is an ancient Hawaiian healing technique. And those are
mm.
kind of what I started with. And I started using them on myself, on my friends, on my family, and I saw how powerful they were. And I was like, is anybody else seeing this? Like, this is insane. And so it's just been this gradual, like, curiosity and learning, and literally like one brick of the path at a time. And the same
Mm,
thing with my gifts. It's been, now I can see things a little bit. I'm like, oh, I wonder what that is. And I research it. And then, that gets more and more comfortable. I did not grow up with intuition. I mean, like, we had those like gut feelings every now and then, but I didn't really know what it was. Um, I wasn't getting
mm,
intuitive downloads and ideas and all of that like I am. I wasn't seeing things. So mine has just been a very gradual. I did not get drop kicked into the deep end of the pool like you did. I can absolutely see how that would be so scary. Um,
mm,
for people who haven't experienced that or didn't grow up where like you're actively taught about that stuff, like that is terrifying. I did not have that. And maybe it's because my soul was like, you can't handle that. So we're going to ease you into it. But mine is
yeah.
really, really, I mean, over the past, I've been on my journey probably 8 years now. And I would say, like, I started with energy healing and then, did Reiki, but like my intuitive senses, all of that, my clear intellect has really come in probably like the last 3 years. And it's just
Mm-hmm,
me almost practicing it. And that's kind of
mm-hmm,
why I love to teach that perspective to people is because it doesn't like so many people think, oh, if I didn't have these gifts as a kid, then it's not for me or I don't have that. And this is completely accessible to anybody.
mm-hmm.
Anybody can learn to do this work, to open up their gifts, to all of, do all these things that we do. All of us
Yes.
can learn it and experience it. And so I love that perspective of teaching people that I am not special. I am just like you. I was raised just like you. Like anybody can do this. And for my experience, it's just been practicing and opening up and setting the intention of, hey, I want to get good at this. Like I want to learn this. I want to experience this. Show me what this feels like or show me what this looks like. And then I just experience it more and more and more. And then they show me more and more and more. And I'm like, oh, this is so cool. And probably like once a week, I'm not kidding. Like I will see something or they will give me an idea or a thought, or I will experience something that is like mind blowing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And every
Yep.
time it happens, like I'm so amazed and I'm still so in awe of like, how am I still learning and getting my mind blown every single week by the stuff that we're doing and the stuff that we're learning and talking about and all of that. And it's probably only like the tip of the iceberg of what's out there. And like, I just get so excited in this entire like spiritual world. It's
Hmm.
just so fascinating to me. And so I think that's why I love learning and growing in so many different subjects and like all of the things because it all works together. It all plays a part, but it's
Hmm.
all so fascinating to me. Like I am just in awe of this world that we like get to practice in every day. It's
Right.
so cool.
Me too. I often get the message that just do it. They're
Hmm.
like, I'm a 1-3 profile in human design, and
Yeah.
so I can never do enough research and I can
Hmm.
never learn enough before I
Yeah.
think that I can teach something or
Hmm.
practice something. And my guides are always like, nope, you got it, just do it. And
Yeah.
over the last year and the year before, my guides really shifted the way they were working with me. So I do regular healing sessions for clients with Reiki and a bunch of different modalities. Now, for the first, I guess, 5 years of my practice, I purely was working with Reiki, shamanism, and sacred geometry.
Mhm.
And then the last couple of years, like gradually guidance came in, and then, well, the last 2 years really heavily they came in. They said, um, the message I got at the end of 2024 was, you're going to be doing a whole lot of learning.
Mm.
And I'm like, I kept getting study cards when I draw cards, do my
Mhm.
card readings for myself. And I'm like, I don't have any plans to study anything. And I'm thinking
Yeah.
traditional study, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't even want to study anything.
Yeah. It sounds like a lot of work.
Right, right. So I'm thinking like a course or, a workshop where I have to,
Yeah.
do like months on end of work. No, it was none of that. What it was a guide coming in and giving me new techniques for each client that I saw.
Mhm.
And so in each of my healing sessions, each one is unique to that client, which it always was.
Yeah.
But they're like, no, you're not going to do that past life healing like this anymore. You're going to do it like this because this is how they need it. And so
Hmm.
every past life healing that I do is different. No two are the same anymore.
Yeah.
The same with, cord cutting or disconnection of energy from one person or and
Mhm.
whatever it is. Um, and so and ancestral healing and all the things, and it's just so fascinating to me, and it's really like taken me out of a box that I didn't know I was in.
Yeah.
And so that's how I was learning for the last 2 years. And I think if they told me that that's what I was going to be doing, I would have felt overwhelmed, but because
Mhm.
they just did it every time, you know, all the time. Um, it really helped me expand and learn and grow. And they're like, you're never going to feel prepared. Just do it. Just
Mhm.
teach it. And that's a message for all of us, to just step into it. And I've learned that fear is often a signal from the universe that that's the direction you're meant to head in,
Yeah.
and to move through that fear, and that they've got your back. You don't have to be scared.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you feel that feeling of fear, but use
Yeah.
that fear as motivation to move
Mhm.
through
Yeah.
whatever that is that they're guiding you to move through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that you said that because I feel like, and maybe it's because I'm not traditionally trained. Like, I feel like everything I've learned has been like your concept of just do it. Like, it's been a thought that's come in, and I'm like, it's always like, ooh, I wonder if I could do that. Or, ooh, let me try that. And like, let me see what that's like. And so very
Hmm.
little of my like practice and the skills that I have are like traditionally taught. I have definitely been in the school of experience and like there I call it off-roading because every one of my client appointments is the same thing. Like I'll be in the middle of doing something and they're like, no, we're gonna do it a different way. And I've just learned over the years that every energy wants to be treated differently. It wants to be
Hmm.
healed differently. It wants to come out differently. And that's why it's so important to keep our channels open, to have that clear intuition coming in so that we can receive that guidance and do it justice and do it the right way it wants to so that it heals faster. Because anytime, even when I'm healing myself, if I go into it and I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'll be in the middle of it and they're like, yeah, no, this is not working. Like, try this. And it comes out so much quicker. And I'm
Hmm.
like, oh, but like literally every single energy is different. And it's so wild to me. It is so
Hmm.
wild.
So wild.
Yeah.
And um, we're just like you and I and all healers and anyone can be a healer. You
Mhm.
are just the channel. It's about releasing your fears and
Mhm.
just letting that energy, that universal energy, wherever it's coming from, to flow through you. And as long as you've got your protection and your shields and your spiritual hygiene is what I call it, is on
Mhm.
point, then no negative lower level energy can get in. It's just all that unconditional loving source energy that flows through us to whoever needs it.
Yeah. And just like you said, like we're just a channel. And I
Yeah.
feel like that comes up so much in my life right now is people don't understand energy healing and the work that we're doing. And I get a lot of people preaching at me because they have no clue what I do. And I'm like, just ask me. Like, I don't care. Just
Hmm.
ask me. And like, once I
Hmm.
explain, like, no, like, I'm just a channel, like, source, universe, God is just working through me to help heal this person. They're like, oh. And I'm like, yeah, like, you made it out to be this whole thing that it wasn't. But I get that so much is like people just don't understand. Like, you're literally just a channel. You just have to go into it with the intention of helping that person and remaining open to the guidance and the wisdom that comes in to us while we're doing it.
Hmm. And each person, each one of us on this earth, have a whole spirit team just for us.
Hmm.
Okay, we've got like however many dozens of guides, maybe even hundreds of guides, right, for everything
Yeah.
we're going through. And so, whenever someone says, pray for me, what I do is I ask their highest self or their spirit team, and whoever's in that spirit team that that person needs the energy for healing or for manifesting or for,
Yeah.
you know, loss or whatever they're going through. I
Hmm.
ask their spirit team to send them the energy that they need.
Hmm.
Who am I to judge what energy they need? I'm
Yeah.
not them, and I'm not.
Yeah.
So our own spirit team and our own highest self knows what we need, and we all have
Yeah.
access to them at any given time, and all we need to do is ask. And
Mhm.
I think that is a huge message that everyone on earth needs to
Yeah.
think about and acknowledge and practice themselves,
Mhm.
because healing doesn't come from outside of us, it actually comes from within us. We all
Yeah.
have that source energy inside of us because we were created by source.
Hmm.
And so the more we can move into that space
Yeah.
and release the fear of society pressures and
Hmm.
what the world wants us to fear and whatever's coming at us,
Yeah.
the more we can move into our true authentic self and our soul energy and our source energy and our highest self isn't disconnected from it's within us. And sometimes our human brains need to know that it's above us or wherever it is to kind of, we always as a human want to disassociate from
Hmm.
the true essence of us, but it's everything's in us.
Yeah.
And so it's just about learning how to work with that and learning how, whatever our human brains need. And that's why,
Hmm.
you and I offer workshops to teach these
Yeah.
these things to people to help move through the blocks and the obstacles. And a lot of it comes from conditioning in our childhood and the way we're raised and society pressures and
Yeah.
religion and all the things. There's so much. I mean, there's even the Bible has things that are left out of it because
Mhm.
it's not from a perspective that those who wrote it wanted it to be.
Yeah.
So,
I agree.
yeah,
Yeah, I
it's a
feel that.
whole,
And it's the first step to I feel like really harnessing your power that is within all of us, right? The first step is like unblocking and unlearning all that
yes.
we've been taught growing up because the majority of people did not grow up in a home where they were learning about, internal power and energy healing and all these things. Most of us did not grow up with that kind of education and support. And so, honestly,
Mm.
the first step is just shedding all the crap we've picked up from other people and releasing it
Yeah.
and unlearning all of the things that have been blocking us and holding us back from the power that's within us. And
Hmm.
just like you said, like we all have it, like it's source divine connection within all of us. If we weren't supposed to use it, it wouldn't be there. We wouldn't have the power to use it if we weren't supposed to.
Hmm.
And so it's like the first chapters of, enlightenment or spiritual awakening is really just people starting to think for themselves and realize, hey, maybe, these things I thought were true are not necessarily my truth anymore. And, having a different school of thought and realizing like the programming that we've all been subject to
Hmm.
growing up. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, me too. And um, that deconditioning, if we look within us and really get honest and say, what is my truth? What feels right for me?
Yeah.
There is no right or wrong way to do this. It's what you need and what your energy feels.